Picture this. You're sitting down to breakfast. The smell of coffee fills the air, and there's a plate of perfectly scrambled eggs in front of you. It's a scene of comfort, a ritual of health, a moment of peace, until you realize that one tiny mistake could turn those eggs into something that's quietly sabotaging your body. What if I told you that the way you've been handling eggs your whole life might be doing more harm than good? Not because eggs themselves are the enemy, but because of the little missteps we all make without even knowing it. Let me take you back to a morning I'll never forget. My grandmother, a spry 82-year-old who swore by her daily eggs, sat across from me at her chipped wooden table. She cracked 2 into a sizzling pan, just like she had for decades. "Keeps me strong," she'd say with a wink. But a few months later, she started feeling off, tired, sluggish, stomachaches she couldn't shake. The doctor pointed to something unexpected: her eggs. Not the eggs themselves, but how she'd been preparing and storing them. It hit me hard. Could something so simple, so innocent, really turn against us? That's when I started digging, and what I found was jaw-dropping. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on the mistakes that make eggs harmful to your health. This isn't about scaring you away from your favorite breakfast. It's about arming you with the wisdom to enjoy eggs the right way. We're talking hidden bacteria, cooking blunders, storage slip-ups, and even the surprising ways your body might be begging you to rethink that omelet. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to keep eggs as the powerhouse food they're meant to be, without the risks creeping in. Ready to uncover what's really going on with those eggs on your plate? Let's dive in. Imagine cracking an egg and not knowing that it's already carrying a silent invader. That's where our first big mistake comes in: ignoring the sneaky danger of salmonella. You've probably heard of it, maybe even rolled your eyes at the warnings. But here's the kicker. The CDC estimates that salmonella causes about 1.35 million infections in the US every year. And eggs are one of the top culprits. It's not just about bad luck either. The trouble starts when we assume every egg in the carton is safe. My neighbor Tom learned this the hard way. He was the kind of guy who'd grab eggs from the farmer's market, toss them in a bowl on the counter, and whip up a frittata without a second thought. One weekend, he ended up doubled over, sweating through a fever, all because he didn't know those fresh, organic eggs were hiding bacteria from the henhouse. So, what's the science here? Salmonella can live on the eggshell, or even inside the egg if the hen was infected. Washing eggs might seem like a fix, but here's the twist. In the US, commercial eggs are already washed and coated with a protective layer. Scrub them at home, and you strip that shield, letting bacteria sneak through the shell's tiny pores. Leave them unwashed from a local source, and you're rolling the dice. And it's not just about the shell. Cross-contamination is a real beast. Ever crack an egg, wipe your hands on a towel, and keep cooking? That towel's now a bacterial playground. My sister once made a batch of cookies after scrambling eggs. Didn't think twice about the countertop mess, and the next day, her whole family was down with stomach cramps. The fix: check your eggs for cracks. Those are bacteria's VIP pass, and store them in the fridge right away. Don't let them sit out while you sip your coffee and scroll your phone. Cold keeps salmonella in check. Wash your hands, your utensils, anything that touches raw egg. It's not paranoia. It's a small shift that could save you from a world of hurt. Think about it. One cracked egg, one lazy moment, and your cozy breakfast turns into a nightmare. Why risk it when the solution's so simple? Now let's flip the script to the pan itself. Are you cooking your eggs long enough, or too long? That's our second mistake: undercooking or overcooking them into a health hazard. Think about the last time you made eggs sunny side up, yolk dripping like liquid gold. Gorgeous, right? But if that yolk's still runny and the white's barely set, you're leaving the door open for trouble. Studies, like one from the Journal of Food Protection, show that salmonella only dies off when eggs hit an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why my friend Lisa, a self-proclaimed runny yolk queen, ended up sidelined for days after a brunch she couldn't resist. She thought a quick flip was enough. It wasn't. But it's not just about bacteria. Undercooking can mess with digestion too. Raw or barely cooked eggs have a protein called avidin that binds to biotin, a B vitamin your body craves. Miss out on that, and you might notice brittle nails or thinning hair over time. My cousin tried that raw egg in a smoothie trend for a month. Thought it'd make him a fitness guru. Instead, he ended up with a scalp that looked like a shedding cat. On the flip side, crank the heat too high or cook them too long, and you're torching the good stuff. Eggs are packed with nutrients, protein, choline, vitamins A and D, but excessive heat can break them down. Overcooked eggs turn rubbery, and worse, they can oxidize cholesterol in the yolk, creating compounds linked to heart issues over time. Ever notice that greenish ring around a hard-boiled yolk? That's a sign you've gone too far. It's harmless, but the nutrients took a hit. And let's talk taste. Overdone eggs lose that creamy magic. I remember my dad's well-done scrambles. Dry as cardboard, and we choke them down to be polite. The sweet spot. Cook eggs gently, medium heat, soft scramble, or a fully set sunny side. And use a thermometer if you're paranoid. Time it. 3 minutes for a soft boil, 7 for hard. It's not just about safety. It's about keeping the good stuff intact and your plate delicious. Let's step back from the stove for a second. Where are your eggs right now? If they're sitting pretty on your counter in a cute little basket, we've got mistake number 3, storing eggs the wrong way. I used to think room temp eggs were fine. My mom did it, her mom did it, and in Europe, it's the norm. But here's the reality check. In the US, eggs are refrigerated from the get-go because of how they're processed. Leave them out, and you're begging for trouble. The USDA says eggs can sweat when they warm up, letting bacteria slip through the shell. My uncle found this out after a week of countertop eggs, turned his morning scramble into a gamble. He didn't get sick, but the smell alone was a warning shot. Refrigeration isn't just about safety. It's about shelf life and quality. Eggs can last 4 to 5 weeks in the fridge, but on the counter, you're cutting that down to days before they start fading. And don't stash them in the door. Those temperature swings from opening and closing the fridge can mess with them. Pop them in their carton on a middle shelf instead. Ever wonder why the carton matters? It's not just packaging. It blocks light and keeps odors from seeping in. My buddy left eggs in a fancy glass holder once, next to some garlic, and his omelet tasted like a vampire repellent. Storage isn't sexy, but it's the difference between fresh, nutrient-rich eggs and a risky disappointment. Here's a question to chew on. Are you pairing your eggs with the wrong foods? Mistake number 4 is all about what's on the plate next to them. Eggs are a nutritional rock star. About 6 grams of protein, brain-boosting choline, and healthy fats. But toss in the wrong sidekick, and you're tipping the scales. Take my old coworker, Mike. He loved his eggs with a mountain of bacon and a slab of buttered toast. Classic, sure, but over time, his cholesterol crept up, and his doctor wasn't thrilled. The eggs weren't the villain. Those saturated fats piling up beside them were. Research, like a study from the American Heart Association, shows eggs themselves don't spike cholesterol for most people. It's the company they keep. Pair them with greasy sausage or fried potatoes, and you're overloading your system with sodium and trans fats. But here's where it gets fun. Swap in avocado, and you've got creamy fats that love your heart. Toss in spinach, and the fiber cuts through the heaviness. Whole grain toast. Now you're fueling your day without the crash. I tried this after Mike's wake-up call. Eggs with sautéed kale and a drizzle of olive oil. Felt like $1,000,000, no guilt included. Next time you crack an egg, think about what's riding shotgun. It's not just flavor at stake, it's your whole vibe. Let's get a little deeper. Are you eating too many eggs or not enough? That's mistake number 5, and it's trickier than you'd think. For years, eggs got a bad rap, too much cholesterol. They said, limit yourself to 2 a week. My dad lived by that rule, rationing his omelets like they were contraband. Then the science flipped. A 2019 study in JAMA found that for most folks, eating an egg a day doesn't hurt your heart. The catch: most folks isn't everyone. If you've got diabetes or a family history of heart disease, piling on eggs might nudge your risk up. Think 3 or 4 a day with no breaks. My uncle ignored that, ate eggs like candy, and his blood work told the tale. But skimp too much and you're missing out. Eggs are a goldmine for seniors especially. Protein to fight muscle loss. Choline for brain health as we age. I saw this with my aunt, who cut eggs out entirely after a health scare. She didn't realize her memory fuzziness and weak grit might have been tied to skipping those nutrients. She'd say, "I'm fine with oatmeal," but her energy said otherwise. The takeaway: 1 or 2 a day is a safe bet for most. Keeps you sharp, strong, and satisfied. But listen to your body and your doctor. How many eggs feel right for you? It's not about fear. It's about finding your sweet spot. Now, here's a curveball. Are you tossing the yolk and missing the point? Mistake number 6 is buying into the whites-only hype. Back in the 90s, everyone I knew, myself included, was dumping yolks like they were toxic waste. Low-fat diets were king, and yolks were the enemy. But here's what I didn't know then. The yolks were the magic lives. Choline for your brain, lutein for your eyes, and most of the vitamins, A, D, E, are packed in that golden orb. A study from the University of Sydney even showed whole eggs beat whites alone for muscle repair after a workout. Sure, yolks have fat and cholesterol, about 5 grams and 186 milligrams per egg. But for most, that's not the deal breaker we once thought. My gym buddy Sarah swore by egg whites until she plateaued, switched to whole eggs, and her energy soared. Ditching the yolk might save 50 calories, but you're throwing out half the reason eggs are so good for you. And let's be real, whites alone taste like sadness. I tried it once for a week, felt like I was punishing myself. Unless your doc says otherwise, embrace the whole package. Why settle for half the story when the full version's so much richer? Let's talk about something sneaky. Are you overlooking freshness? Mistake number 7 is eating eggs past their prime. Ever cracked an egg and gotten a whiff of something off? That's not just a bad day, that's a warning. Eggs don't come with a flashing expiration sign, but they do fade. The USDA says they're good for 3 to 5 weeks after the packing date. That's the Julian date on the carton, a 3-digit number from 001 to 365. My cousin didn't know that, kept a carton for months, and ended up with a sulfur bomb that ruined her kitchen vibe. She laughed it off, but the waste stung. Old eggs won't always make you sick, but they lose nutrients. Protein breaks down, vitamins fade. That runny white and flat yolk, it's a sign the egg's given up. Freshness matters for cooking too. Old eggs won't whip up from earrings or hold together in a poach. Test them. Drop an egg in water. Sinks? Fresh. Floats? Toss it. I started doing this after my cousin's fiasco. Caught a few duds before they hit the pan. It's a simple trick that keeps you from gambling with your breakfast and wasting your grocery budget. Finally, are you blind to your body's signals? Mistake number 8 is ignoring how eggs hit you personally. Eggs are a near-perfect food, until they're not. My friend Jen loved her daily scramble, but she started noticing bloating and fatigue. Took her ages to connect the dots. She had a mild egg sensitivity. It's rare, about 2% of adults, but it happens. Allergies are another beast, with symptoms like rashes or breathing trouble. Even if you're clear there, overdoing it might leave you sluggish if your digestion's off. My brother once ate 5 eggs daily for a protein kick. Felt like a brick was sitting in his stomach. The fix: pay attention. If eggs leave you feeling heavy or off, scale back or swap them out for a bit. Keep a food log if you're curious. It's like detective work for your gut. Jen cut back to twice a week, added in yogurt instead, and her spark came back. Eggs should lift you up, not drag you down. What's your body telling you right now? Tune in. It's smarter than you think. So, here's what we've uncovered today. Eggs can be your ally. Packed with protein, brain fuel, and vitality, but only if you sidestep these traps. Salmonella lurks if you don't store, cook, or clean right. Overcooking kills nutrients. Undercooking risks your health and digestion. Bad pairings tip the scales, and old eggs lose their punch. Yolks aren't the enemy, but your body might be waving a red flag. It's not about ditching eggs. It's about mastering them. Think about this. How many of these mistakes have slipped into your routine? Next time you crack an egg, you've got the power to make it work for you, not against you. If this flipped a switch for you, hit that like button. It tells me you're in on this journey. Drop a comment. What's your go-to egg trick? Or did any of these surprises catch you off guard? Subscribe if you want more of this. Real talk, real wisdom, no fluff. We're here to age smarter, live better, and keep the good stuff coming. Until next time, keep those eggs in check and your health on point.